Power of the Dollar is a fundraising campaign that will benefit 4 Black women-led organizations from across the country. The idea is to use our personal and professional networks to help raise funds and split the donations evenly amongst the coalition. It's truly a community of women asking our separate communities to come together for one cause, to empower and fund Black women-led organizations. To participate in this campaign, we're asking folks to donate $1 via Cash App. Of course, if you have more and are willing to give more, you are welcome to do so. After that, we ask that you share this campaign with your community in order to build traction and bring funds to these organizations. "2020 has been an eye-opening year for so many people. This is the first time we have widespread acknowledgement of how racism affects Black people in the US. For the first time, people understood that racism doesn't mean you're hooded, burning a cross, or waving a flag. Racism appears in different ways that impact the day-to-day lives of Black people. We've seen and we've heard countless stories about how institutionalized racism and systemic barriers affect Black people. From the school to prison pipeline, to banks denying loans to Black people, from lack of representation in the C-suite, from misrepresentation in the media, from gentrification, the housing crisis in major cities, all of these are affecting Black people, and especially Black women. But what we don't discuss nearly as much are the barriers that Black women face in the nonprofit and philanthropic sectors. And that's one of the reasons why I started Power of the Dollar. Black women-led organizations are understaffed, underfunded, and have less unrestricted assets than organizations led by white people. And one of the easiest ways to get funding is to apply for grants. The grant application process is difficult, it's time consuming, and it's generally a pain in the ass. And you do all this work not knowing if you're going to actually be approved for the grant. And to alleviate that, you could hire a grant writer, and the grant writer can bring in the money. But you need money to fund the grant writer. So now you're in this perpetual cycle of being understaffed and underfunded, and there's nothing you can really do about that. Power of the Dollar is focusing on the unrestricted assets portion, and in this case, it's money to bring to these organizations. As we identify institutionalized racism and systemic barriers within the nonprofit sector, the facts are this: Black women-led organizations receive less grants than their white counterparts. Secondly, and most absurdly, data shows that funders don't trust Black women to make decisions about the grant money that they receive. Black women-led organizations are seen as unreliable and risky to funders. And although that mindset may be changing slowly, the need for funds has not slowed down. While we tackle the internal bias within the sector, Power of the Dollar is mobilizing to get funds to these organizations now. And if you want to read more about the intricacies of how philanthropy has failed Black women-led organizations, there's an excellent op-ed by Vanessa Daniel in the New York Times. I've been asked so many times, why just $1? And let me be clear, I wholeheartedly believe that the organizations a part of this coalition deserve all the corporate funding and all the grants that are out there. But the dollar ask was really about the donor. We want to alleviate the burden of giving from the donor while emphasizing community organizing from the grassroots level. We want folks in various financial situations to know that what they're able to give is enough. We've seen it time and time again that Black folks win when we show up as a community and use our networks to make change happen. Remember that your one donation is benefiting 4 Black women-led organizations from across the country, which are Black Women Worldwide, that's based in Detroit, the International Society of Black Latinos, based in LA, Community to Community, based in Brooklyn, and Building Leaders and Cultivating Change Fund, based in Los Angeles. You can go to our hashtag, which is Power of the Dollar 2020 to make a donation, or you can visit us at powerofthedollar.us to make a tax-deductible donation.